Real estate is beyond just buying land and houses. It is your ability to understand and interpret your numbers. As a matter of fact, this is what separates average investors from smart investors. It is also what separates analytical investors from emotional investors. So in this video, I'll be showing you at least three numbers that you must pay attention to for every investment that you make, as this will help you to measure the performance of your investment. So do well to watch this video to the very end. Also do well to like, drop a comment, subscribe, and share this video to people within your network, because on this channel we are not just bringing you the very best real estate investment opportunities, we also educate you on how you can safely and rightly invest using facts and data. My name is Iyayi Abuedefe. I'm the shortest distance between you and the right real estate investment here in the city of Abuja. I help my clients build sure and sustainable wealth that is transgenerational. Like I did mention earlier, there are three numbers you must pay attention to for every investment that you make. That will actually tell if your investment is performing well or not. So the first is capital appreciation, the second is inflation, and the last is real appreciation. They all play their various roles while we are trying to measure the performance of our investment. So let's begin with capital appreciation. I will begin by giving you a very pragmatic example so that you can also relate with it. Last year, for an instance, one of the products that we launched that product at 3 million naira. And right now, this same product is going for 4.5 million naira. So if you want to get your capital appreciation rate, all you need to do is to say capital appreciation rate, CAR, is equal to current value minus the purchasing value, PV, all over the purchasing value times 100%. So let's compute this value. The current value of this property is 4.5 million naira, right? Minus the purchasing value, which is 3 million naira. Divide by the purchasing value times 100. If you do your mathematics, 4.5 minus 3.5 divided by 3 million times 100 will give you 50%. So on paper, this looks so impressive. 50% capital appreciation in 1 year. That is so impressive. But then you must take a step further, because what you are getting is actually ignoring one important factor, which is called inflation. And in real estate and in Nigeria as a whole, inflation is real. So if you really want to get the actual value of the performance of your investment, you need to factor in inflation. So let's do our calculation and factor in the inflation, and let's see what we are going to get based on the actual value of what the investment is saying, not just what it is saying based on paper. So according to the National Bureau of Statistics, the inflation rate of Nigeria between last year 2025 and this very moment 2026 is around 21%. And this is one factor that majority of investors ignore. Inflation is that one factor that silently erodes the purchasing power of your investment. Inflation is saying that what your 1 naira could buy last year, this year, that same 1 naira can no longer buy the same quantity of product that it could buy last year. So in other words, you will need to factor in your inflation for you to get your real appreciation, right? So another name for this capital appreciation is called nominal appreciation. So in order for we to get a real appreciation, we have to consider inflation. And there's a formula for it. The formula is real appreciation after your inflation, real appreciation is equal to 1 plus your capital appreciation or nominal appreciation divide by 1 plus your inflation rates inflation rate, right, minus 1 times 100%. So based on this formula, let's compute our real appreciation. And don't forget, our nominal appreciation is 50%, which is 0.5, and our inflation rate is 21%, which is 0.21. Let's compute the figure into this formula. So real appreciation is equal to 1 plus 0.5 divided by 1 plus 0.21 minus 1 times 100%. So when you compute all these values, it will give you approximately 24%. In other words, 24% is your real appreciation and not 50%. This investment is a very good investment. The reason is because despite the fact that we have 21% inflation rate, the investment outperformed the inflation by 24%. So with this, you can measure the performance of your investment. In other words, you can tell if your investment is doing well or not. So again, I said there are three metrics that you can use to test or to measure the performance of your investment. The first is capital appreciation. The second is inflation. And the last is your real appreciation. Your real appreciation gives you the actual insights to whether your investment is doing well or not. In other words, it gives you the insight to whether, as a result of this investment, whether you are richer or not, and not just what you get by computing your capital appreciation while you are ignoring your inflation. So these are the three metrics that you can use to test or measure whether your investment is performing well or not, especially in an economic climate like our country, Nigeria, where inflation is real. I hope you have learned one or two things from this video. If you have any question, kindly ask on the comment section and I'll be glad to respond to your questions. Until I come your way in our next video, see you on the other side of it. Bye for now.